Hey, welcome back. What I want to do right now, and as quickly as possible, is make a Starfield. So, what I'm going to have to do is find what the Y position of the tip of this mountain is, and draw a line straight across, and you'll see why in a moment. So, peak number one Peak number one is the larger mountain, and I'm looking at my notes, my printout, my virtual printout, is going to be, I think it's around 170. So what I want to do here is we're going to create a test. I'm going to put, we have 70 lines of code so far. So we're going to put Starfield. And if we print our memory, mem, we can see that we've used hardly any memory. We have plenty of memory left to play with. So what we're going to have to do here is first, like I said, draw a test line. I'm simply going to put, and I think color 1 is white, so it should default to white. Let's see whether it does or not. So 170 to 256 is our limit, 170. Set that, and simply return to our joystick, which is the main brain center of all of this. Okay, it's a logic gate, so it's lines 21 through 42. So if we list 21 through 42, we're going to throw it in on line 41. This go sub 4 is our, it redraws our background graphic constantly so that if the ship flies through the mountains, it repairs. If this wasn't here, we'd end up with holes in the mountains. So we want to go sub to, I think it was line 71, was it? List 71, yeah, okay, so we're all set there. And then 42 goes back to the joysticks, beginning of the joystick, which should be line 28. And we need a constant loop for it to read the joystick. So it's constantly looping and looking for movement on the joystick. So let's run this, and we get a line, but it's way down here. So that wasn't correct. Now peak 2, I forgot, the greater the Y value, the lower down it is. So I need to look for the least Y value, which appears on peak 1, and it appears to be 100, not 170. So I simply change line 72 to 100. 100. Let's run this again. Now there's our line. So we want to go just above the mountain range. I think we're just touching it. And as you can see, as it's being broken, it's being redrawn. Now I can't have stars below this line because the stars are going to be pretty random. Every time you run the program, the stars are going to be in a slightly different position. So if I tried to put stars down here, it wouldn't work out because this is a moving graphic, and we would end up with stars inside of this area here. Now, if I painted this area, you wouldn't be able to tell, and then we'd get stars everywhere, which is a better idea. But for right now, I don't have a lot of time. I want to do this quickly. So we're going to work with Oh, come on. I love this edit feature. It's just lovely. So we need to change this to either 99 or 98. I'm not sure which. Let's try 99. Just so we get above that peak there and we're not interfering. So it is 99. Okay. So what we want to do is draw all stars in this area until I figure out a way to paint the mountains, and then we can have stars everywhere. But for right now, we're just going to have stars up in this area, which, you know, the sky is up here, so you can argue either case. So what we're going to have to do to actually get any stars is I'm going to have to figure out, first of all, how many stars we want, and the more stars we put, the slower the program's going to go. When we're working in BASIC and we only have 1 megahertz, it's really sketchy. So I think 25 stars would be a good place to start. So let's add on to this. I'm going to keep that bar there. And we can have stars anywhere between 0 and 256 and 0 and 99. So that's a huge spread. So what I want to do is I want to clear enough memory here for this, because if you subscript beyond 10, you'll get an FC error if you don't clear memory. So we have to pick dimensions, and what I need to do is I need to pull up my menu that I shut down here. So where was it? Because offhand I don't remember how I did it. So I made another program like about 1.5 years ago that did exactly this, and I was just looking at it because subscripting gets really complicated when you're using random numbers, but this was an easy application, but it can get really complicated. So what I need to do is look at low res game version 1, which is what I named it, and you guys can't see this. So I just use dimension A and B, and I have to check for conflicts on my current program. I believe I used A already, so I can't use A. That is my, I call it a digital A because it works in zeros and ones. I can't use that, so I can't use X and Y. So we're going to use B and C. I don't think those have been used in this program. So B and C is what we're going to use. So the way you clear enough memory is, now when you're doing arrays, it's a two-dimensional array, but when you're just doing a pixel on a subscripted variable, it's one number, so it's exactly the amount of stars we want. So we want dimension B. We want to reserve 25 places in memory for dimension B, and that's going to be our X. And 24 we're going to reserve. We need a different dimension, 25 places in memory, so that's 50 places in memory altogether. And we need to do this twice because there's an X and a Y. It's always a coordinate, so we're gonna do that. Okay. And now that we've cleared the memory, we need a for next statement. So we're gonna say, and let me tell you something, guys. I've written some programs and I have absolutely no idea how I came up with it. what I wrote or anything. It's like brand new to me. Like when I look back at older programs that I did that are complicated, I don't know how I came up with this stuff. And I don't know. You really, if you don't do this all the time, you're gonna forget. I don't care how simple it is. Practice, okay? So we're gonna put 4 S for stars equals 125. 76. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go through random. Actually, I think it's B equals random. This is our X, so we don't want stars on the border. So we can't eliminate 0. Actually, it doesn't pick 0, so it'll be just inside the border. You know what? We'll just do 255. And if we get stars on the border, there's nothing I can do about it. I would have to micromanage it, and I don't want to take the time to do that, so it's not really going to matter that much. I don't think the computer is going to be picking 1 or 255 exclusively very often, so I don't think I'll have to worry about it. And then, as I said, we can go up to 99 on the Y value. So this takes care of our X and Y axis. So we cleared enough memory to subscript these variables 25 times. And the 4 next is going to do that for us. So, actually I need to subscript B and C. So I didn't do that. Edit 76. We need to subscript B, and we need to subscript C, and we're going to list this over again. So what's happening here is that for every S value from 1 to 25, B is going to get a different random value as well as C. So we're going to have 25 subnodes of C with different random values up to 99, 25 different subnodes of B with random values up to 255, and it will generate a total of 21 stars. However, we only want to go through this once. However, we want to retain the graphic. So, next step here is to put a next S, I think that's what I said. And we're going to have to place this at the beginning of the program. So we're going to have 2 different lines. We're going to have a Starfield generation line, and then we're going to have a Starfield display line. So this is going to generate the stars internally, and we're going to have another Starfield line that's going to display the stars. A graphic generation of what I don't know, I'm getting tangled up here. It's been a long 2 days. So what we need to do to actually display the stars is a good question, because that is going to generate the stars, and to display them we are going to have to set 25 times. Alright, so line 79 is going to be our star field display, and it's going to be basically the same thing. We're going to put 4s equals 1 to 25, and then 81 is going to be set, and this is going to get a little bit um, ugly here, but it won't be too bad. So one parenthesis p set has 3 values inside. So first thing we're going to do is p set our x coordinate, b subscripted to s, comma, c subscripted to s, comma, our color is always white, and that's it. And we're going to put next s, and then we're going to put return, and that should do it. And Starfield isn't spelled right. It says S. I forgot the A. Let's list this whole over again here. So I've added a number of lines here. So again, this is going to generate the lines, and I do need a return statement here. So we're going to renumber this, and so I can fit a return statement before our next, just before our next area, because if that's not there, then this isn't going to work. And we're going to list this. I like to keep my programs clean, as clean as possible. So here when we run the program, it's going to go sub, and the first thing it's going to do is find all of these values, because this can take a while. We don't want to slow our game down. It will go back, load the rest of the game, go through the joystick scheme, display the background graphic, and then it will display the stars if I did this right. And by my notes, it looks correct. So what we need to do is go back into the joystick again, lines 28 through 42. And this is not going to be go sub 71. List, I don't know what it was. I have to constantly list this. 80. List 28 through whatever it was, 41 I think. And we're gonna paste our background graphic on, and then we're gonna paste our stars on. And as the joystick loops, it's going to loop with the graphics. So if my ship flies over a star, the star won't get erased. It'll get erased and then it'll reappear, basically. And until I color my ship in, we're going to see stars through the ship. But this is just a beta version right now, and until I color those mountains in, we can't have stars below that line, and I'm getting a bad subscript in 82. I don't know what's wrong with 82. What the heck is going on? Oh, because we haven't generated those numbers yet. So those don't, it doesn't, it needs to first read, it needs to read the data first. So I'm looking at the wrong list here. So if we go back to the top of our Defender game, as soon as we clear the screen, before we start putting graphics on the screen, or I can do it on line 3. I think that would be a safe bet. Let's edit 3. So go sub 4. Let's list 4. Let's see what it's going to do. It's going to put our background graphic on. Then it's going to put our ship on. Then it's going to go to the joystick. But before it goes to the joystick, it is going to go sub to 71, and it's going to read that data. It's not really reading data, it's going to generate this data. So we should have stars. And look at that, lo and behold, we have stars, and they're random generated. And like I said, you can see the stars through the ship because the ship isn't painted yet. But you know, when I go up and down, they're not getting erased. They're constantly being redrawn. And it does it pretty quickly because we haven't lost any speed. So I can fly up and down through them. And and they're fine. So let's get rid of this line on the bottom. We don't need our test line anymore. So we just get rid of line 72. And we renumber this by ones. And if we list it, we now have a total of 83 lines. And so I tacked on a bunch of new lines, but it wasn't that bad. So what I'm gonna do is note this where I made the changes. I think I made a change on line 41, and we added below 70, so I added 13 new lines. And if I list 41, there should be 2 go-sub statements. Now watch, when I run this again, the line is gone, and it generates a different random set of stars, which is nice because every time you're going to get new stars, and that looks like plenty of stars for me. Any more than that is just too many. So we're going places in this game, and I hope you're following. And we're almost there. I mean, I can shoot, I can go left or right. It's pretty relaxed. I can shoot through the stars and they'll reappear, so they're not getting erased. And if you take a minute and take it in, it does pretty much feel like Defender to me. The only other problem is if I go down here and I fly right, our ship gets chopped up. See these holes right here? I'll address that next time. So next time we'll address that, and it looks like a done deal to me. I mean, I can't make it a full game because that's a little beyond my knowledge. There's other things that I could do to it to make it look a little bit better, and I might be able to get some action into this game. I might be able to modify it or do a rendition of Defender that's an action game, but action games are not my forte. My forte is more of role-playing games like Tales of Suburbia, and I recommend that people watch that entire 10-minute video. There's no commentary, and you'll get a lot out of it if you enjoy those types of games. It's a big program. So far it's 3 tapes. They're not full tapes, but it had to be broken down into tapes because I only get 23K. So there's 2 stages so far. Stage 1 is available on video. If you look at my videos, I just posted it. It's a walkthrough. Stage 2 is much larger and it's broken into 2 parts. And then I have a game data save tape, so that's 4 tapes. But they're just virtual tapes. So that program is actually thousands of lines long. This isn't even 100, so Tales of Suburbia is probably about 1,500 lines so far. It's a big one because there's a lot of detail and it's a full playable game. But in order to make a game like an action game, you really need to know your mathematics. And I'm only schooled in mathematics through intermediate algebra, and you need more math skills. You need to be schooled in calculus and things like that. And you need to know how to use formulas, and I don't know them all. I know some of them, but not enough to generate an action game. I don't have the training And without that training, you can't get farther than this. I might be able to I might be able to incorporate enemies and things like that, but right now I'm not really concerned with it. If you guys want to see more, I could attempt it. Um, I'm sure it's possible, but it would take a lot of effort. Maybe not. I don't know, but I've tried making games like Pac-Man, and I got, halfway, and I just had to stop. It was too much, and from scratch. And you can see that video as well. I also attempted Missile Command, which I have not posted, and without knowledge of without any knowledge of trajectory, just forget trying to make those games. Games like a Missile Command or um, what's it called? I also tried Space Invaders. That didn't work out too well. Like I said, I got about halfway, and I didn't post it because it just didn't turn out right. You really need to know your math. Um, or machine language, and I just don't know either one very well enough to create a game like that. And I'm the only one that's working on these things, and I am not trained in any area of computers. I'm self-taught, and I've only been doing this for about 2 years. So I mean, you're taking the journey with me basically as I learn. That's what this channel is about, and it's about trying to help lower level programmers achieve more. So I'll cut it off here, and I hope you guys have a good day, and thanks for watching. I'll be back soon. Take care.